Hello YouTube, this is Archon633, back with another Star Wars review. Today we're going to take a look at the Star Wars 6-inch Black Series Rey in her Island Journey design. Now this is the outfit that Rey has at the end of The Force Awakens, and also sometime about midway into Star Wars Episode VIII, The Last Jedi. I can say this out the bat, that Hasbro did a fantastic job on this figure altogether, and I'm really glad to actually get a hold of this one. Anyways, we're now going to go on to the presentation and contents first. And now we move on to the presentation and contents. Before anything else, we're going to take a look at the box as normal. It has a picture of Rey there. Obviously, it does have the bubble where it actually holds the figure. It says Rey Island Journey there. She's number 58 of the releases, and we do have a bio on the back as normal, which is pretty self-explanatory. So now we're going to take a look at the figure itself. The contents that the figure includes is the signature lightsaber, as we pretty much seen with many of the releases. If you got the Lukes or any of the Reys the recent time, you pretty much get exactly what you're pretty much getting. The lightsaber is pretty much nothing different except maybe some paint differences. She does include a removable soft goods cloak, which will look a little better underneath the cloak in a minute. Next, we do have the blaster, which is pretty much self-explanatory for Rey figures. And she does include the staff. Now this time, I'm a little bit skeptical why it was included. It's understandable since it does make sense that she still has the staff and so on. It hasn't been said otherwise that she would lose it or anything. But she barely used it in this film, so it's a bit weird, in my opinion, why the staff was still included. So, in terms of content, you're pretty much getting a pretty good amount of accessories. Pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty much the same we got in the last Rey release, except for the fact, obviously, it does include the new cloak and the brand new head sculpt. So overall, I think this particular category gets a 5 out of 5, in my opinion. And now we move on to the features. It's pretty much the articulation, just how the accessories work with the figure. So, off the bat, I think Hasbro did a fantastic job with the face print technology, which definitely did not exist in the early parts of the 6-inch line, and it definitely got into more impressive types of differences between what we got back in 2013, if I remember correctly, that's when it started, all the way up to 2018. At least the technology that they've done to make the figures a lot better has definitely increased over time, and the only problem, once again, is really just the distribution problems, but that's a different story. Anyways, we're going to take a look at the articulation points. The actual cloak is removable, since we're actually going to be able to remove it here. It's easily removable, unlike the 3 3/4 inch, which you do need to technically take off her head in order to pull it off. Since it is made of a soft goods material, it's a lot easier to pull off. And underneath, you pretty much see a Episode 7 Resistance outfit for Rey, as stated by the figures in The Force Awakens, but there is a few differences between the two suits that actually makes it the Island Journey version. In terms of articulation, the head is on a standard ball joint, and the actual hair pieces do kind of get in the way, but not by a whole lot. But she does have some really good movement looking down, so that's really nice, and some decent movement looking up, but you're not going to get a whole lot there. She has swivel hinges on the shoulders, swivel hinges in the elbows, swivel hinges in the wrists, 360 waist articulation with a little bit of an ab crunch, but it does kind of get hindered due to her actual shirt. She has outward movement in the hips, swivels at the thighs, double joints at the knees, and fully jointed ankles. So you're going to get a whole lot of articulation once again with the 6-inch Black Series figures. The lightsaber is obviously the standard lightsaber we're getting with the 6-inch figures so far. And with that, we do have a removable blade. And there isn't anywhere to put this on the figure, so we're actually going to put this off to the side and take a look at her blaster. This is pretty much the exact same blaster we've seen with the other version of Rey that was released earlier in the 6-inch Black Series scale for The Last Jedi, but it's still nice that it is included, and it's definitely still an accurate accessory for the figure to include. She does include the staff, as mentioned earlier, and you can allow her to hold it, well, so you pretty much get the idea from that point on. So in terms of features, articulation, etc., it's pretty much on par with all the other 6-inch Black Series figures, but it's really the face print technology that makes this figure a step above the rest. So with that, I actually give this a 5 out of 5, since you're actually getting a lot of accessories just with the main package here, and it's really nice how this figure ended up. So the overall value for this figure is definitely really good. Since you're actually getting a lot of accessories out the bat in the actual box without obviously needing anything else, I think this is definitely worth the $20 price that the figure is retailing for. However, I got mine for around $25 including shipping because I ended up getting it from BBTS because, as I mentioned earlier, the distribution is just awful in my area, so I've never actually seen this figure in person. So it's a little bit harder to recommend at $25, but because of the new face print, etc., I still give this a 5 out of 5 on at least the standard price value. And now we're going to go on to some comparisons. I think it's really great just looking how far Hasbro's gotten, just looking at the original version of Rey from the Force Awakens line, all the way up to the latest one here in 2018. It's definitely become an impressive step with each figure, and although these two figures came out around the same time, I think Hasbro still did a fantastic job with releasing these different versions of Rey in different outfits, and because of the new sculpts, each of them become a lot more unique outside of just the outfits themselves. So it's really nice how this new version came out, and I think, in my opinion, it's the best out of the 4 released so far. So that concludes my review for the Rey Island Journey 6-inch Black Series figure, and it's definitely one that we will not want to miss out on. Anyways, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and check out Hero Club and Hero Taku. Also check Return of Darkon633, and don't forget to check the other channels down below. Please check the little bell at the bottom of the screen in order to see my content go up as soon as possible, and also check me on Instagram under Darkon633 as well. I'll be back with more Star Wars reviews, but for now, I'll be seeing you later, YouTube. Bye.